Hello everyone, my name is T Hunter. For those of you who are coming to my channel for the first time, welcome. For those who are returning, thank you so much for coming back. So today's story is going to be a little bit different. I figured I would do a story time on how I was catfished pretty much all through college. So, no, this isn't going to be an angry video. I'm not going to be bashing this person or trying to expose them. Just more so just telling my experience of the catfishing phenomenon. So, my freshman year of college, it's funny now. It's just funny, period, actually. So catfishing was happening like well before Neve and Max, Neve and Cammy, before they put a name to it. Catfishing has been happening for years, decades. So for me, online chat rooms were a very convenient place to meet new people. And there was a level of safety with the anonymity, unless, of course, you're sharing photos and telling all your business on the internet, which is not a good idea, by the way. But I digress. So for a person like me who was a little bit socially awkward when it came to guys, online chat rooms were definitely an easier way for me to connect to people. And I know it used to be like the thing. If you reached out to someone or whatever, like, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's backtrack. So first, you go into a chat room or whatever, and they were, I know Yahoo's chat rooms were separated by, I believe, culture, race, religion. There might have even been some that were categorized even by age brackets too. So I would almost always be in the African American chat rooms, and the lingo was ASL, which was age, sex, or gender, and location. So somehow or another, I don't even know how I came across this person, if they messaged me first or I messaged them first. But there was a guy who was, I think maybe just like a year older than me, and I don't even remember where he said he was from. But what got me was when he private messaged me, because of course you've got the chat message where everybody in the chat room can see, and then you can move into a private message where it's just you and that special person one-on-one. So in the private message, we started talking, and I believe he asked me if I had a photo, and I said that I can't remember if I did or I did not have one saved on my computer at the time. But anyways, I asked him, did he have any photos? And he said yes. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's see. Y'all, this young man sent me photos of Little Fizz. Yes, Little Fizz from B2K. Now, my friends who have known me since high school, family that has known me, anybody who knew high school T Hunter knew that Little Fizz was one of her celebrity crushes. So I was like, sir, what you doing? I know that's not you. And I made sure to tell him, hey, that's Little Fizz from B2K. Do you want to show me your real picture? So then he said, oh, okay. All right, cool. So I'm thinking, all right, strike one, second chance, whatever. He sends another photo, and it is a picture of Will from the boy band ATL. Now, no, I wasn't a big fan of ATL, but I paid attention to boy bands. Sorry, I used to watch a lot of music videos, used to watch a lot of BET, 106 and Park, all of that. So I'm thinking, this is also not your photo. What's going on? Why can't you just show me a photo of yourself? Or you could even just describe yourself if you're not comfortable showing a photo. I get it. You don't know me. I don't know you. It's fine. So after that second strike, I just stopped taking this person seriously because I figured, for whatever reason, you're not comfortable showing me your face, and you have the right. to protect your identity. You don't know me, like I said, and I don't know you. So we shouldn't get too common too soon anyway. So we used to talk pretty frequently, rather friendly. Nothing serious ever came of it because, as I stated before, this person was not comfortable showing me their actual photos. So I made a mental note. Okay, don't have any expectations around this going anywhere, because this person could be walking around and you could pass by them and never know that it's them because they don't feel comfortable showing you who they are. So fast forward some years, I'm in my junior year of college, and I believe it was, by this point, the original dude had introduced me to like 2 of his cousins. Now, each one of these cousins did a similar thing when it came to photos. They would send me photos of guys from boy bands, and I'm like, do you realize that I watch TV? I read magazines, like the internet is accessible to me. Like I could easily figure this out, that this photo is not you. Whatever. So even with those connections, I believe the reason why the original dude did this was to sell me on the dream that he was real. And it's just like what we see on the episodes of Catfish now, where a catfish will create an entire community of family, friends, a network of colleagues to make it look real, that this person actually exists. And I was thinking to myself, man, like that has to be exhausting for you to have a minimum of like 3 profiles, because you've told this woman, well, you've told me, this person has told me, like, oh, this is my cousin, this is my friend, this is my cousin, this is my friend, and this is my friend's wife, and this is my cousin's fiance. And so now you have to generate all these profiles to create this sense of reality of this world that you're living in. Yeah, it was a lot. And I was thinking, I don't know how anyone could keep up with that. If you think that living your life with integrity and being honest is difficult, imagine what it's like being a catfish who has to fabricate an entire reality, an entire community of people, just so that the person or the people they're catfishing never find out that they're not who they say they are. It's actually quite sad once I think about it. So after college, the original guy who sent me the little fizz pictures talking about, this is me. By that point, he had told me that he had gotten married to his child's mother. So they had at one point during my college career reconciled, got married, and, you know, welcomed another child into their family. And I'm thinking, this is awesome. You know, congratulations to you. Congratulations on your wedding, your marriage. Congratulations on the new baby. You know, I'm all for, you know, healthy marriages. I'm all for Black love. I'm all for, you know, people being able to work things out, because this day and age, it is work to stay together. So if you have a child outside of wedlock and then you can make it work and y'all can get together and y'all can be married and be healthy and whole and be a positive example for the children that you brought into this world, more power to you. God is good. God is faithful. Go that direction, because the idea of, you know, being separated from your children and them growing up around like another parent that's not you, I can't imagine how difficult that could be. So then, like, the second cousin that I was introduced to, he ended up also getting married and having children too. And because there was no like romantic connection or anything like that, the cousin, what do you do? Like, he would try to definitely like sell me on the dream that he was real as well. And I was thinking to myself, wait a minute. Now, if you are married and you have children, how in the world can you be on the phone with me and I never hear anyone ever in the background? Like, you don't live in a vacuum. I have a toddler and she's quiet right now, but there are videos where you, my viewers, you hear her. It is what it is. So I could only imagine just talking on the telephone, people hear her in the background as well. But at some point or another, there's going to be some sign that I have a child. There's going to be a sign that I have a spouse. Some way or another, they're going to pop up in the background noise. But that never happened. So I was thinking to myself, that's really odd. And I know at one point, I believe also in my junior year, the second cousin, he had gone through like some relationship drama, and it was just really sad to see that he had created all of these profiles to match like the stories that he would tell me. So, oh yeah, this person I was dating, like they did me dirty. So then now the scandalous ex has to have some type of subliminal message on her MySpace. Yes, MySpace days. Had to have some subliminal message on her MySpace, or there has to be a petty comment from this ex to him to show like, oh yeah, we're really beefing. And I'm thinking, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of lies to try to keep track of. So I think I just kind of became slightly entertained by it, but I was also really put off because I was thinking, man, like after all of this time, at this point, like me and the cousin had been friends supposedly for like 2 years. And I'm thinking, how can you try to build a friendship, even a distant one, for 2 years, try to cultivate that, and still you cannot be you. You cannot be honest. That's a red flag. And it's really sad that unfortunately we do live in a world where sometimes society can give off this vibe that you as you are not enough. So you need to create this reality of you being perfect. You need to fabricate this life that you want other people to believe that you have, instead of just, hey, this is me. I am who I am. Here's my real picture. Because if I want to establish real intimate connections, and it doesn't even just have to be romantic, just even like real, genuine, intimate friendships, I'm going to have to be honest. Because if I'm not exposing who I really am, there's not going to be grounds for trust. It's just not going to work. Yeah. And the reason why I didn't give names to any of these characters is because I do believe it was the same person. Just spun this whole web of all these different identities. And I figured, there's no need to try to give a pseudonym for that. No need. I want to say in 2011, Facebook had the option for you to sync your contacts with your Facebook friends. And I guess I had turned it on. I don't remember if it was like intentional or if it was just, sometimes, at the time the iPhone was like, oh, if you sync your Facebook friends with the contacts that you have in your phone, any of your contacts that have a Facebook, like it'll auto-populate whatever that Facebook name is. And this way it's easier for you to connect. So I ended up doing that. And for this guy that I had been talking to at that point for like 7 years, a woman's name came up, and there was like a photo of a woman visiting Santa Claus with her children. And I was like, whoa. God, please tell me I have not been talking to one of these children. Because that was the other thing. When we did talk on the phone, because I did end up talking to the guy on the phone at times, he did have a little bit of a higher pitched voice, but I know every guy doesn't have, the Barry White, everybody don't sound like my husband. Ooh. Yeah. So, everyone has different voice tones, textures, and whatnot. So it doesn't mean necessarily that someone with a high pitched voice has to be a child, but sometimes that is the case. And I remember thinking to myself, I hope that wasn't the case, because if so, no bueno. Yeah, so that ultimately was the deciding factor for me to let that friendship, and I use that term loosely, to let it go, because I was thinking, at this point, it's been 7 years. You've never showed me a picture of yourself. And the photo that comes up that is linked to your telephone number is a photo of a woman with her children visiting Santa Claus. So it's possible that he could have just been on a family plan. But there are just too many holes in this fabricated reality. So, yeah, this might not be a super exciting, thrilling catfish story, but I figured I would do something different, and that I did want to share my experience with catfishing, because apparently it's very common. It does happen, and I'm just grateful that I didn't have the experience of being scammed by anyone. I'm thankful to God for his protection during the entire process that I allowed to go on for whatever reason. And I don't have any ill will towards this person. Even now, I actually feel kind of sad for them that they weren't comfortable enough to just be real. So I'll just chalk that up to, maybe young age, maybe a lack of maturity, or even just a lack of, self-confidence. And sometimes it can be hard to just be yourself, because people aren't always so accepting when you're just 100% real. This is me, no mask, no facades, nothing. Everybody cannot handle the pure, unadulterated version of you. People can be cruel. So I guess my takeaway from this experience would be kind to yourself so that you can be kind to others. So this way, you don't put yourself in a position where you feel like you have to be someone that you're not for the sake of making and keeping friends, making and keeping romantic relationships. If you cannot be you with the people that you're calling friends, or the people that maybe you think you're interested in and you might want a romantic connection with, it's not worth it, because eventually it will just become so exhausting that you have to continue putting on a fake face. You have to continue putting on a mask. So for those who are catfishing for whatever reason, definitely praying for y'all, because that's a difficult life to lead, with all of the stories, all of the identities, and just everything that you have to maintain so that the reality that you have painted does look real. But yeah, like I said, this is very different from what I usually post, but I wanted to share an experience of mine. If you like this content, definitely feel free to like this video, leave your feedback in the comments, share it with someone, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.